Hi party people, welcome to Bonded Tarot. For today's pick a card reading, or it's gonna be pick a bracelet, we're seeing what's next in love for you. I'm keeping it really open-ended. I actually don't have, I normally have like a notebook with like how I want to do the reading, but for this one I didn't really feel called to necessarily do that. I just pre-shuffled a bunch of oracle cards to see what's next in love, and then whatever wants to come through in the tarot will come through, or if I feel called to like ask a specific question, then we'll do that for your reading. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. For today's video, we do have a lovely sponsor. We are partnering up with Otter Spirit again. We have Cleo joining us now. So Otter Spirit's a really, really cool brand. Hello. They're based in California. They donate $1 per bracelet that is bought to helping protect the wild sea otters, which is really, really cool. They also support organizations like the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and the California Coast Keepers Alliance. All of their bracelets and bracelet packs come in like neat little packaging like this. It comes with a protective sleeve and then a fancy little box. And all of their bracelets also come with a little card that tells you more about like the crystal grade quality of the crystals you're getting in the bracelet. All of their crystals, by the way, are graded like A or above, and I think 80% are graded AAA or above, if there is an above. I don't know how crystal grading works, but I do know that those are the best ones. And on the cards you get like intention, zodiac signs, and chakras that they can be aligned with if you want to work on either connecting more with a specific like energy center or grounding. I got this root chakra pack so that I could focus more on grounding myself. Also, I themed all of the like cards, oracle cards and decks with like nature-y themes, so that's exciting. We're all grounding today. We're all grounding, group grounding session. So for your piles to pick your groups, there's like a couple different options you can pick. I have a deck picked out and a bracelet. So group 1 is going to be this hematite bracelet, which I really like the weight behind hematite. It's a heavier stone. It's very like comforting. It's great. And then group 1's also going to be using the dark wood tarot. I'll show you some like example cards for the artwork. Really cool. I really like this deck. And then group 2 is going to be the red jasper bracelet. Meow meow meow. And the Forager's Daughter Tarot. Incredible artwork. Beautiful. Stunning. Love her. And then group 3 is going to be the Forest of Enchantment Tarot and this black tourmaline bracelet. So here's the bracelet. Pew, 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 pew. And then here's the Forest of Enchantment, and here's the artwork for this deck. Yeah. So, take all the time you need to see which group you're feeling called to the most, and I'll go ahead and see you in your reading. Hi pile 1, if you chose the hematite bracelet and the darkwood tarot, then it's gonna be reading. I'm gonna put this baddie on. Equip her. So, your little note card for hematite says, I remain unshaken during challenging times. Intention, protection, balance. Zodiac signs it's associated with are Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Leo, and it is associated with the root chakra. Also, it says number 26 at the bottom in case that is an important number for anyone. So I dig it, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'm going to tell you what all your oracle cards are. So first we have protection with moon in Aries. And then we've got T, friendships, support, and community. Carnelian with get curious. The goat. River red gum with the affirmation I use my creativity for good, meaning enchantment, And then there's like a little descriptor of the plant. Iconic Australian tree. Flowers bloom late spring to midsummer. Has an ominous name, Widowmaker. Ooh. And then Sagittarius with the Explorer. Adventurous, distant places, free spirit, clever, travel, philosophy, bold, blunt, impatient, argumentative, independent, and ruler of the 9th house. And finally, the Elk and Ash with strength. And this is card number 8. Shoo! Okay, cool. I really like it because it's kind of like for what's next in love for you, I think it's going to be a lot of exploration and a lot of like figuring out what you like, and also not feeling scared to explore and try new things because we do have protection here twice. It's kind of like I don't know, I was getting like lawnmower and also bulldozer. It's just going after things, and because we have the goat card here, and goats eat anything you put in front of them. He's literally eating the border. So it's kind of like, I think you'll be getting out there and feeling, you could quite literally be traveling and find some fun, I want to say flings, during traveling, or having really good connections with people when you travel. I will say, I don't necessarily, it feels more like free, and more, again, like exploratory and adventurous and wanting to just see what's out there and try new things. It's like a charcuterie board. Like you're getting a sample of like a little bit of everything and figuring out what you crave, what you don't crave, what you like, what you don't like, what is for you, what's not for you. Stuff like that. I'm not necessarily seeing anything that's like setting you up for like a long-term relationship, if that's what you're wanting. I do think it's just going to be a lot, like free spirit, travel, independent, adventurous. Yeah, like finding your strength through experience. You could be, I want to say, sampling a lot of different types of people. You could be going on more dates, like speed dating could also be a thing, or just kind of like striking up conversations with people and just getting to know the person. It doesn't seem like there's an intention to settle down. So if you do have an intention, I don't know if this is your group. No intention to really like settle down quite yet, but very much an intention to just like meet new people, have really interesting conversations, get to know people. It feels like there's a lot of like wonder and excitement and just enjoyment in, and curiosity in getting to know others, and like, what do they do for a job? Because, you know, there's like a billion different jobs out there, you know, like there's so many different things that you can be doing, and so many different ways that you can put like a degree to use, or so many different ways you can succeed without a degree. You can do like trade school, like there's so many things you can do. And so I think there's just curiosity in getting to know people, and like learning about all of the different lives that different people lead. It's kind of like wanderlust, but also applied to people. Like wanting to explore the different depths of people and just have fun and like hang loose and just try new things, you know? Like, it's kind of a mindset of try and see if, like, my family and I, because I used to be a really picky eater when I was young, so my mom and eventually all of my other family members would go, try it, you'll like it. I don't know if that's from anything. So it's kind of like that, just like trying new foods to see if you like it, like, don't knock it till you try it kind of thing. And you'll never know if you like something until you try it. You can have like as many prejudgments and assumptions as you want, but you'll never truly know until you like actually sample it. So I kind of think that's the vibe. I think you're going to be feeling very strong in yourself and very comfortable in yourself and very confident, very like easy breezy flowing. And if anybody has any judgments, I genuinely think that's not going to really be something that you're thinking about unless somebody like brings it up to you and then you're like, oh, why do you care? It's not necessarily impacting you. And then if it's someone that like wants to have a long-term thing with you and you're like, no, nothing, never mind, I'm kind of like chilling, and then they get upset with you, I think that's kind of on them, because I think you're gonna be very like direct with what you want, and very clear with what you're looking for, and very clear that you are kind of just exploring and having a good time and enjoying yourself. I would like, again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of like traveling and going places and like meeting new people from different like countries and cultures and stuff like that, you know. We also have T with friendship, support, and community, and so I also kind of think there's going to be a fun aspect of like telling your friends like what's up and like the things you're learning and discovering. And I think there's going to be some people in your life who really love like hearing what you have to say and really love just like hearing about your explorations and your outings, you know, your ooting. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Like, they're gonna kind of like live vicariously through you, you know, especially if you have friends who like don't like to get out or don't like to date or have been in a relationship since they were like in high school, and they're like still very solid with that one person, and they're just curious about like, well, what's out there for you though? Like, I've had this one person my whole life and I love it and it's great, but like there's all these other experiences, and they can kind of like live vicariously through you, you know? Again, not that they're like dissatisfied with what they have going on, but it's curiosity, you know? Yeah. Also, with the goat being here, you could be the goat. The weirdest of all time. So I think there's just gonna be a lot of people who show interest in you and who also find you to be like really interesting and alluring. And we also have the word enchantment here with red river gum, so you could be very enchanting to people. And I love the word enchantment and like enchantress, like I love it. That's gonna be you, enchanter. Yeah. Sorry. It has the ominous nickname Widowmaker, as it often drops large... Okay, this is a word that I've read before but not heard, so pronunciation, forgive me. B-O-U-G-H-S. It's either bows or boffs. I want to say... who knows? Up to half the diameter of the trunk without warning, which can fucking kill people, apparently. Damn. So I think you might like drop in on people out of nowhere and then like spice up their life and then like dip immediately, which I think is like fun and exciting, and it feels like very fast paced and exploratory. And so for some people, they might like pine after you or be like, ugh, but what could have been? And you're like, and that was it. That is the only thing that could have been. Thanks so much. It's cool if you want to follow me on Instagram or something. I'm probably not going to follow you back. But they can pine all they want, you know? I wouldn't be surprised if you do, like, any deity work, if you work with, a, like, you know, like, Aphrodite or, a deity that, like, goes hand in hand with like glamour magic, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. And also, you're probably gonna be making like a ton of friends wherever you go, because it's like simultaneously like, yeah, you're meeting all these new people and having these fun new experiences, and you could like maintain friends like a friendship with them, you know, throughout the rest of your life, or like your travels, or however long you would like to keep up that friendship for. So I think it's gonna be a mixture of like some people who are like, but I want more, and you're like, No. And then some people who are like, yeah, this is fun and it's great to get to know you and we can have a casual thing and it doesn't have to be that deep if we don't want it to be. And it's like, great. We're matching each other's energy. Yeah, especially with like Aries moon here. My sister has an Aries moon, my mom has an Aries moon, and one of my best friends has an Aries moon. So you could be like a little impulsive. It's just like you're doing things at your own whim, and maybe like not super thinking about the consequences, which like doesn't have to be bad as long as you're, you know, transparent with like your intentions, which I think you are going to be. But it's just fun, very like fast-paced. I'm hearing the song Talk Fast by 5 Seconds of Summer, which is quite literally like talk fast romance. I think it's about quite literally like this situation. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fun, fun, fun. So, let's put these away. And then see what wants to come up. I want to see what kind of people you're gonna like encounter. I'll pull like 3 cards for that. For like 3 different types of people. So, type of person number 1 for group 1. Hey, that's a million cards. Let's just do like 1. Thanks! We have the Hierophant. Cool. I love the artwork in this deck. It is so cool. Here's the Hierophant. The Hierophant is associated with the sign of Taurus, so they could be a Taurus. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the other 2 cards and then we'll compare and contrast. Type of person number 2, group 1's going to encounter on their journey. I want to say journeys plural, like I don't, it feels like a lot. We have the 7 of Swords. Okay, type of person number 3. 8 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. Can we clarify the 7 of Swords? The Hermit. Interesting. She's so you! It's the Fool. Okay, cool. So, for type of person number 1 that you're going to be encountering with the Hierophant, I think this is probably going to be the kind of person who's very like steady, very consistent, very reliable, someone that you can go to and like to seek answers from, you know, like they're probably very knowledgeable as well. What I mean by like go to seek answers from, like I think if you were to ask them like, hey, what are your intentions, they'd straight up tell you. They're very like honest and reliable person, very dependable. A message that came through is they are a good lay, so congratulations, have fun. I think they are well learned too, like they could have some form of like higher education, they could be a very intelligent person, have like a very good job or like a very good paying job or both. Yeah, someone who's very like steadfast and reliable. I am getting a lot of spicy things, and I can't really share that on YouTube. I'm gonna be so real with you. So just know that that's gonna be fun, and that's gonna be great. Yay! Oh, there's turtles! And snakes. So I don't know, maybe turtles or snakes could be, or like ancient old keys could be a like sign or synchronicity around this person. Fun. I think this is someone, because like the imagery of the card, like this person is very rooted, very grounded. I think that they probably, wherever you are going to meet them at, is probably where they were like born and raised at. Probably like maybe they went away for school, but I think they would have come back. Probably like a very big family person. Maybe they're religious, but if not, then they might have been raised religious and then thought about it and went, not for me. I'm gonna go read a ton of books instead. They could be into science for some of you. I don't think that's for all of you though. Is there anything else? No. So for the second kind of person you'll encounter, what's really interesting is they both have red hoods, or like red cloaks. So we have the Seven of Swords and the Hermit. Interesting. I want to say this is someone who I want to say they're not going to be entirely truthful about their demeanor. Like when they're with you, I think they might recognize like, oh, this is just gonna be like a fun fling, like this is just gonna be something silly, something, you know, like brief. And so they might not just be their like authentic self with you. Like maybe they'll be more extroverted than they normally are, or maybe they'll take on like a different sort of like persona, or maybe like they don't normally partake in like casual stuff, and so for some of them it might feel like they're being like a little, I don't know, dishonest with how they normally are, or like who they normally are, but you know, they're having fun, so like whatever, you know. They could also, with the Hermit, be older than you. They could wear the color red. Let's see, one of these people have brown hair and the other has red hair. So brown or red hair could be significant. I also think this person is, I don't know, it's interesting because it might, like, as you're getting to know them, it might feel like they're not telling like the whole truth or being like completely like transparent with you, but also there might be a recognition of like they're kind of a stranger, so they don't necessarily like owe you full transparency. I don't think they're like necessary. I think for most of you, I don't think they're necessarily trying to like pull one over on you. I think they're just trying to like have fun or like be silly or something. I don't think there's any like malicious intent whatsoever, so I don't think that's something you have to worry about. They could be an educator as well, is coming through with the Hermit. Like there could be people that they regularly teach, so they could be like a teacher or a professor or an instructor or something like that. And normally I think they might kind of be like a homebody, or they might kind of just not really pay attention to other people or not be drawn into casual things by other people super often. But, you know, with that like enchantment energy from before, I think they're just going to be very like enraptured by you and curious, and they'll find you to be very fun and exciting to be around. They might also like not trust you or your intentions initially. Like they might think that you're being sneaky or that you're hiding something. Just with the way that like she looks kind of suspicious, right? But I don't necessarily like, I think that, you know, through getting to know you, they'll be like, okay, false alarm, not that bad, we're chilling, it's cool. Yeah, and they might also present you with like some new interesting knowledge with like the lamp here in the Hermit, or like I'm hearing Aladdin. It's Aladdin. I can show you the world. yeah, so they might like introduce you to new things or new ideas or new hobbies or like interests that you really, really get into as a result of meeting them. Yeah. And then for the third person, which like there might be more than 3 people, there might be less than this, could just be like the most prominent individuals that you meet. So we have the 8 of Cups and the 2 of Wands. This could be the kind of person who, she's a baddie. Sorry, they all are. They're all baddies. I'm obsessed. Maybe that's how they think about you. Okay, so this could be somebody who had just like recently left a relationship or gotten out of a relationship, and so they're trying to kind of just get back out there, and they might also just be like dating around, having a good time, not really taking things seriously, just seeing, you know, again, like what's out there. They might have a hard time actually trusting people emotionally, because initially, I will say, this is a snake. That's a snake. I thought it was like a stream of water or something, and then I actually took a longer look at it. That's a snake. So I think they might have a hard time trusting people initially, especially with emotions. They might not be the most vulnerable individual. If you ask them about their past, they are probably just going to like brush right on past it. They might touch on it ever so lightly, like feather light touch, you know. You'll get a sentence, perhaps. Because I think they're just going to try and be really focused on like the here and now and the present, and part of that is going to be like avoiding confronting their own feelings, but also avoiding like having any heavy or like serious topic of conversation with you, because I think they're just trying to have fun and let loose and forget about all of that. Yeah, I do think they will be very fun. This probably will be like a more outgoing person, or they'll like appear to be very outgoing. They might like proper dates as well with the 2 of Wands. Like, they might like call it a date. Like, let's go out on a date to dinner. It'll be like a fancy Italian restaurant or something. I don't know. Italy keeps coming through. I will say, Italia keeps coming through. Fun! Coolio. So is there anything else they need to know about what's next in love for them? Okay, girl, that's too many, girl. Thanks. We have the 5 of Swords. The Tower. Emperor, Page of Wands, 4 of Swords on the bottom. I love the Iraq. And we got another, that's a ram. I know the difference between goats and rams, I do. Like, look. And then I'll show you these baddies. Okay. For advice, there might be some people who, because you're just like having a great time exploring, trying new things, not taking things super seriously, there might be like a couple people who are trying to make drama out of that because you are extremely no strings attached, and they might be like, well, strings. You know? They might be like trying to attach strings to things, or trying to like make things more serious than they are, or something like that, or bringing in drama, or like somebody's past partner is like way too curious about you in like a really weird way. And I think genuinely either you're not gonna notice, I think it's all just gonna brush right past you. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna accidentally like shoulder check you or just like, you know, like it's nothing. Like, you're gonna brush it off. You are not taking it seriously. If anybody has any like emotional, this is King of Cups, if anybody has any like emotional issues, that's on them to deal with, you know, like that's that is their fish to fry, I suppose. You are not in the kitchen to begin with. Maybe you went in because you're like, smells good. All right, cool, thanks, bye. You know, it's not that serious for you. For other people, they might have a habit of taking things too seriously. They might try to like make a couple jabs at you, but I genuinely think your nonchalance towards the whole thing is going to be worse of a response than if you actually like interacted with them. Like, you're above it. You're above it. And you don't care, and you're having a good time, and no one's gonna ruin that for you. Snaps. Okay, chill. Is there anything you want to close out with? I don't think so. I think that's all I have for you. So, pile one. Thanks so much for joining me for your reading. I really, really appreciate it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also check me out on Patreon for exclusive pick-a-card readings. If you want to learn more about tarot, there's tarot education on there. There's the TikTok extended readings I have. You can have voting power on the Patreon readings I do and the YouTube readings I do. I make tarot spreads, and you can also get a personal reading every month if you subscribe to the highest tier. You can also check out my tarot and oracle deck. I made my own tarot and oracle deck. They're really cool. The Bonded Tarot and the Childlike Wonders Oracle. Those will be linked down below if you're interested. You can book a personal hey. You can book a personal reading if you're interested, if you feel called to. Those will also be linked down below, and you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Bonded Tarot. I post on there. I post fun, silly things and readings. So, yeah, thanks so much again for joining me for your reading. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching. Bye. Hi, pile 2. If you chose the red Jasper bracelet and the Forager's Daughter Tarot, then this is going to be reading. I love this deck so much. It's so gorgeous. Meow. Okay, so for your cutie little card, your affirmation here is I am brave and won't give up. The intention is strength. Zodiac signs it's associated with are Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, and Scorpio, and the chakras that red jasper is associated with are the root and the sacral. So, I really like, actually, I really like doing readings with Otter Spirit and their bracelets and the intentions and stuff, because they always tie directly in with the reading. Because we have, I'll go over all of the oracle cards, but we have one of them as Desert Oak, and the affirmation here is I nourish my roots so they may grow deep and I may go strong, and the meaning is resurrection. It's like there's a lot here about feeling really strong and powerful in self, and we have like assertion with Sun and Aries. Sorry if I'm a little burpy. I've been drinking Powerade and I had a little like Nutri-Grain bar. And then Aquarius with the diplomat, inventive, original, opinionated, analytical, distant, intellectual, humanitarian, friendly, tolerant, outgoing, and ruler of the 11th house. Like honey, sex, pleasure, physical touch. The mantis. The vulture and asphodel. I think that's how you say it. With upheaval, and it's number 14. And then clear quartz with the only thing. Also, this is number 5, in case that is significant to you. Number 5. And 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. So we have 55 here. So, oh, and like honey is number 25. Okay, so there's a lot here about like finding your own strength and like feel like doing your best to feel really rooted to yourself and finding like a really good center within yourself, and also trying to understand what that means for you and what that looks like for you. What does it look like to show up for yourself? What does it look like to keep yourself grounded? How, like, do you need a bunch of different tools in order to make that happen, or can you simplify it? Because, like, I don't know. With the Vulture and Asphodel upheaval, I actually want to read that to you because I really, really liked the passage. So, the Vulture and Asphodel indicates an unforeseen upheaval leading to grief, mourning, or regret. The vulture is often associated with death, but it plays an important role in our ecosystem. Its consumption of carrion, or decaying, the decaying flesh of animals, prevents the spread of disease. Relatedly, in the Greek myth, I can't read, I'm really sorry. In Greek myth, Asphodel was said to grow in the underworld, and to the Victorians, it sent the tragic message, "My regrets will follow you to the grave." Often, what follows upheaval looks like ruin, and it's tempting to clear the rubble and start again. The Vulture and Asphodel reminds us that there's value in what's been lost. Take time to grieve before you rebuild, lest you harbor regret. A trauma has occurred and you need time to grieve. Cleanse your wounds carefully before attempting to move on. I'm blaming my misspeaking on Mercury retrograde. As any spiritual girly would. So, I wouldn't be surprised if in your love life something grievous has recurred. Something general grievous. Star Wars. And you're having to kind of like recenter and rebalance yourself and figure out like, hey, what does self look like for me? You know, like, for example, if you went through a really tough breakup, it makes sense that you would be trying to figure out like, okay, well, who am I outside of that relationship? Especially if there are a lot of issues with entanglement or enmeshment or codependency or something like that, you know? Trying to find like, okay, well, I'm obviously like a whole person on my own, so what does that look like to me? Like, what parts of me did I adapt to be in the relationship? What parts of me did I have to morph and mesh and change to fit within that relationship? Ew. Sorry, the image I got is someone like literally breaking their bones to fit within like a cube. Oh, a box, some would say. Fitting yourself in someone else's box. That's what she said. Sorry. Especially with Aquarius, because Aquarians are notoriously like really independent and like will do things their own way. You could also say they have a I'm not like other girls mentality, which is so real. I'm Aquarius dominant, so I can say that. It's fine. It's okay. It's a disease. It's actually critical. And with assertion, like, trying to find... And, like, it says original and opinionated. There's a lot of, like, trying to find yourself. A lot of learning, like, what self means to you. And the Mantis also talks about, like, going inward and kind of, like... Also, I'm maybe slow down a little bit, because I'm noticing, like, I'm talking really fast and I'm trying to go through things very, very quickly. And I wasn't like that in pile 1. I was chiller in pile 1. And I do have, like, a very quick train of thought, but normally not like this. So, chill a bit, take a breath. You don't have to rush to find the answers. Fun fact. You don't have to rush to heal. You don't have to rush your grieving process. It's a process. If you rushed it, it would screw it up. Fun fact. like, take your time to really feel things and allow things to just happen instead of wishing that things weren't happening, and wishing that things were different. I think things can be different within your control, and so if there's something outside of your control that you want to be different, that's hey, what's a nice way to put that? Okay, there's not one. It's kind of like a waste of energy to constantly be like trying to do something that's physically outside your means. But there are things like within your means that are possible, that are capable. Like we have resurrection here, and like with the quartz, the clear quartz as like the only thing. Like the booklet talks about clear quartz potentially being like the only tool that is necessary, because it can help you direct your intention, and all you have to do is channel your intention into it and then direct it, and then poof, that's it. You don't need like a million different things to achieve one outcome. You can do it all much more succinctly. So if you're trying to like go through a healing process and you're like, and I'm gonna read all of these self-help books, and I'm gonna take a million baths, and I'm gonna do a million face masks, and also let me get tattoos and piercings real, and let me change everything about me, and let me try everything. It's I don't think you'll be able to find what actually makes you feel the most like yourself unless you do it one by one. That way you know which one worked. Same thing with like medicine, or if you have like a sudden food intolerance and you're like, fuck, what is it? You gotta take out gluten, and then, you know, wait, and then dairy, and then wait, and then slowly introduce things back in one by one so you can figure out which one your body hates. With this Like Honey card, I kind of want to pull a clarifier because I'm not necessarily getting like a ton. We have the Page of Pentacles. Ooh, with the Magician on the bottom. This deck is so beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. I picked this card up and then I heard the like Disney theme question mark that's like When You Wish Upon a Star. That I think would play at the beginning of like the DVDs. Which makes sense with the Page of Pentacles and the Magician. So I think there's going to be, like, for example, if you, in like your intimate physical connection with a past partner, often, and this isn't going to be for everyone, so I'll take it as it resonates, you know, often did everything according to like what they wanted to do instead of doing things that you liked or that you enjoyed. You could also be doing a bit of exploration there, like self-exploration. Maybe you're meeting new people and trying new things and like attempting to sort of like get out of your comfort zone so that you can see again where your comfort zone lies and like what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what do you like, what do you not like. There's a lot of like self-exploration. It feels somewhat like hesitant, like there's kind of a bit of like nerves in doing so. You're not going to be in trouble for trying to learn more about yourself, so, and if anybody makes you feel that way, you know the meme that's like, something like, what should we do, wackus bonkus, and then it's like, kill them. Ugh, naughty wackus bonkus. I did hear the kill them, so don't do that. Don't do that. It's a joke. But definitely boot them out of your life. Yeah, and maybe there's more like I don't know, because like when you blow on a dandelion, you have to be like kind of, I don't know, like you're not gonna do it all in one fell swoop unless you do, in which that's really cool, you know. Sometimes it there's like different pressure that has to be applied. Each dandelion is unique and is going to require a different technique. When you blow on it, I guess. Which is a fun way of kind of having an innuendo. Spirit's got jokes, bro. Yeah. Although I do want to say a lot of it feels like it's going to be more self-led. Especially with the magician. Magician does everything himself. If he asks for help, it's because maybe he needs an ingredient. And then he's still going to just use the ingredient himself. You know what I mean? Like, he's the one doing the cooking. But, like, he can get his ingredients from elsewhere, you know? Yeah. Is there anything else? I really think you're coming back home to yourself. And learning, like, what that means for you after a big shake-up. Shake it up. Yeah. Is there anything else? I think that's it. Okay. So, let's see. What are some ways that pile 2 is going to find works best for, like, coming back home to themselves? So we have the King of Swords, the Tower, which is kind of a similar vibe to the Vulture and Asphodel card we had before. The Star. I love cardinals. Virginia state bird, fun fact. What else? I get 2 more. The Hierophant, and the 6 of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. A lot of major arcana. High Priestess. Ooh. Gnarly, bro. And then I'll show you all the cards. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. Hierophant and the 6 of Cups. And then I don't remember if I showed you the King of Swords, but here's the King of Swords in the Tower. Okay, so I think it's going to be a lovely process of I think part of it is going to, it feels kind of like connecting back to your spirituality or back to some form of like connection with a higher power, whatever that looks like for you. And with the 6 of Cups, there's also going to be a lot of exploration of remembering things that you used to really like and things that used to make you feel good and hobbies that you maybe like that had like fallen off while in the relationship or, you know, whatever it was, situationship, and becoming, I think the process of coming back to yourself is just becoming more familiar with yourself and with things you enjoyed, and also learning why you stopped adhering to things as a result of being in contact with, you know, whoever you were before, like for example, ex-partner, whatever. There's going to be a lot of like analysis done, I think, a lot of thinking about the situation and analyzing it for what it was, understanding it for what it was, and then through that, I think you will just inevitably bounce back. I think it's just going to be kind of like a natural occurrence, you know, just something that naturally happens. I don't necessarily think there's anything you like have to do in order to get like realigned with yourself. I think it's something that you're already in the process of doing and something that's happening regardless. Like, it's just going to, like, I don't necessarily, unless you want to put extra work in, I think as long as you, and that makes sense with the Clear Quartz card, as long as you have the intention of wanting to come back to yourself and wanting to be the most you unapologetically and unrelentingly, then I think you'll just naturally achieve that goal. Because I think once you set the intention, then everything else will follow. Haha, 4:20 on the clock. And it's just, yeah, because like with the High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune and the Star and the, like, you can ask for, like, you know, divine guidance and help and assistance and you'll receive it. But it's kind of going to be supplementary to, I think, your like soul-led journey, you know? Like, I think, yeah, like, yeah. Okay, well then, is there anything they need to know about what's next in love for them? Six of Swords. Ooh, Stillness. This is a major arcana that's unique to this deck. And then here's the Six of Swords. What else? Ephemerality, another major arcana unique to this deck. You have a lot of major arcana, so this is going to be like a very important time for you in your life. Very significant. Definitely something that you'll reflect on and like be grateful for. I get two more. The Lovers with dragonflies. And then we have the Ace of Wands with the Ten of Swords on the bottom. This too shall pass, which I think that's a Bible thing, but my entire life I thought it was a Gandalf thing. I think it's because I got you shall not pass mixed up. That's kind of what ephemerality is meaning to me. Like, okay, I'm gonna read a little bit of the Stillness card. I get ephemerality a lot in the readings I use with this deck, but not so much Stillness, so I'm not well acquainted with it. Calculation, Patience, Stealth, Observance. Let's see. Winter, hold on. Okay, there's like 3 different things to read. I'm trying to pick out which one. Okay, The bobcat is built to move silently through its environment. His thickly padded feet muffle any noise from his footsteps, and his large eyes can quickly survey the terrain for the best places to step. This is a time where actions must be weighed carefully. Sometimes it is more beneficial to be still and quiet, to watch and observe. Think carefully about what disturbances might be sent out if you move too quickly or rashly. Winter in the Midwest is a huge part of life for people and animal alike. While the cold can be difficult to deal with, something that always struck me was how silent the woods can be just after a snowfall. The powder coating of the snow seems to absorb every sound, leaving your senses heightened. You become very aware of the noise you make as you move through the trail, how loud the crunch of ice is under your feet. These moments remind me to be mindful of my existence, how I might alert others to my presence, and more importantly, to watch closely of the movement of others. Interesting. I love this deck because there's like symbolism behind everything, like the bobcat, stealth, watchfulness, pine trees, cover, protection, shielding, feathers, softness, nimbleness in the snowfall, serenity. I think that was my bottle, but also like, why would you make a noise? Yeah, I really recommend this deck because it comes with like, an incredible guidebook. So, yeah, it's kind of like move in silence a little bit, and like, I'm also hearing like upgrades, people, upgrades. Like, I think you're going to be moving forward and progressing in a way that's, of course, going to be very significant to you. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to necessarily like acknowledge this or notice that it's happening, or like, I think they'll kind of be lost in their own worlds. So while you're moving and progressing and falling more and more in love with yourself and the world around you and feeling like things are becoming brighter, like I'm hearing the song from what, like Annie, the sun's coming out tomorrow. Little orphan Annie. It's going to be a very personal experience. I don't think it's necessarily going to be one that's like shared with others. It's very much for you and you alone. And I think like trying to share in this experience with other people won't, like, I don't think they're gonna get it. It's gonna feel like it falls flat maybe when you try to experience, or when you try to explain what you're experiencing. Because I think you're gonna find that you're very like rejuvenated and with like the Ace of Wands, you know, and like fresh life has been breathed into you. And you could also be feeling really connected, I think, with the world around you and with yourself, with your spirituality, if you have like a strong connection to it. And if you don't have a strong connection to it, you might find that you're maybe more drawn to it. I don't know. I think the overall message is don't feel like everything's fallen apart just for it to stay fallen apart. Everything has fallen apart in order for you to build something more beautiful and more resonant with who you actually are rather than who you believe you're expected to be. Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything else? I think there is an importance in like letting the moments you exist in breathe for what they are, rather than thinking about what could have been or what could be. The best lesson or teacher is the present. That's what I heard. Okay. Cool. I think that's all I have for you, pile 2. So, Gnarly. Thanks for joining me for your reading. I really appreciate it. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the reading, if you enjoy how I read. Join the Bone Dead Club. We have fun here. It's a great time. You can also check out my Patreon, where I post exclusive pickup card readings, tarot education content, tech talk, extended readings. You get voting power for the topics I post here on YouTube, and also the exclusive readings on Patreon. I post tarot spreads. And then if you want to choose the highest tier, then you get a monthly reading included in that whole package, which is a bonus. And then I also have a tarot and oracle deck you can check out if you want to, the Bone Dead Tarot and the Childlike Wonders Oracle. I made them myself. They're really cool. You can also book a personal reading if you feel called to, and you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok at Bone Dead Tarot. I post funny, silly things and readings. So, yeah, that's all I have for you, pal 2. Thank you so much for joining me for your reading. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me read for you. And I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching. Bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the Black Tourmaline bracelet and the Forest of Enchantment Tarot. And then this is going to be weird. Exciting. Like the... the girl with the jingle bells. I hope you know what I mean. If not, don't worry about it. It's really funny, but not important. Okay, so for your little info card here, for your affirmation, we have I'm safe and protected, with the intention of protection. Signs it's associated with: Black Tourmaline, Scorpio, Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Libra, and associated with the root chakra. I really like Black Tourmaline. I love her. Her obsidian are probably my fave, like, protection stones. Yeah. Okay, so for your oracle cards, I have them all laid out. You do have extras. You have like 2 extra cards, because I got one of them and I was like, what the hell? Well, I need to clarify for that one. And then 2 just popped out for another deck. So first we have the Frog and Lotus with Metamorphosis, number 6. Pearl Saltbush with the affirmation I trust in the treasures I am yet to discover in myself, with the meaning of my hidden worth. A lot of these flowers, I assume the creator is from Australia, because a lot of the like plants and flowers in this deck are from Australia. So and then we also have Copper Cups with the affirmation I trust that the way forward will be revealed and I will not try to force it, and the meaning is my surrender. My surrender. And then we also have Second Thoughts with the card number 40, Doubt, Weighing Options, and Anxiety. We have the Cuckoo Clock, Egotism with Mars in Leo, Taboo with Lilith, Darkness, Untamed, Intensity, Independence, Erotic, Sexual Liberation, Temptation, Secret Desires, Fetishes, Shadow Side, Empowerment, and Destruction. Sorry, I was reminded of Bubble from The Amazing Digital Circus. Sound sticky sounds, and then it's just bleeped out because it's horrendous. Envision the Future with Precious Opal. And then lastly, we have Affair with Venus in Leo. This is not a card about having like a affair in a negative context, like extramarital affair or like cheating. It talks about new love, so don't worry about it. Yeah. So, I think I really like this. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Let me restart. I think that there probably is someone new coming in, and I think that you are going to be questioning their intentions quite a bit. not for anything that they're doing, not because they're doing anything suspicious or weird, but instead because I think you might just have a tendency to just doubt people's intentions, doubt that people have like positive intentions towards you, assume maybe the worst of people as a result of previously assuming the best in people. Happens to the best of us. So it might be hard for you to like trust your intuition in this like upcoming time for your love life, you know? Because like with Precious Opal, the booklet talks about how the oracles of Delphi, love those bitches, would use Opal to help them like channel their messages, like things would become much sharper and much clearer. So maybe this is a sign for you if you were already like thinking about it to like get some Opal, if you want to use it like in your practice, or if you were just wanting a like piece of Opal jewelry, then like get it. Yeah, especially with like Metamorphosis here with like the frog and lotus, there's gonna be a lot of needing to change, evolve your ways of thinking and your ways of assuming. You know what they say about assuming? Makes an ass out of you and me. And because like I genuinely think it might just be a form of self-sabotaging. Of assuming that someone has negative or like nefarious intentions without like asking them. And like constantly questioning yourself, like, are they talking to other people? Are they like what are they up to when they're not texting me? Like, what are they doing? I'm hearing the song Tell Me Something I Don't Know by Selena Gomez, but I was trying to think of Fly on the Wall by Miley Cyrus, which are both like really old songs, but well, not really old, but they're from my childhood. I loved them. I still do. So I think there's just gonna be a lot of you trying to figure things out on your own, but like your anxiety is getting in the way of your intuition and just in the way of seeing things clearly. You know like rose-colored glasses? You have anxiety-colored glasses, and I think it would be, and this is easier said than done, but I think it would probably be really helpful to try and figure out how to take them off, or at least how to like readjust them to where you can maybe do that instead of like a little like, wait, I have that's not, oh, okay, do a little bit of that. Yeah, because with the cuckoo clock, that one talks about like distractions and anxiety and weighing options and doubt. There's just gonna be a lot going on inside your head that's gonna make you question what's going on. And with egotism, I think it would be helpful for you, and it might be anxiety inducing at first, but it's going to be a practice. I think it would eventually be very helpful for you to surrender, focus on other things. If your brain wants to only focus on what is this person doing, where are they, do they actually care about me, you know, whatever intrusive thoughts you're having, turn your attention away from it. And if it keeps on popping up, you just gotta be more persistent in them, you know? Like, I channel with so many memes, dude. There's one that's, I think, Fiona Apple, and someone was like, how do you deal with like social anxiety, or how, like, the thought, like, dealing with how other people perceive you or something. And then the answer that she had, which I don't know if this was like real or fake, was, I think you guys are thinking about yourself too much. So I think the answer that lies here is just focus on other things. And it's fun until it's not, to focus on a love interest and to be excited about a love interest, But if it's not fun for you anymore and you are instead stressing yourself the fuck out, then like focus on something else. Do a puzzle. Pick up a new show. Start a book. Crochet. Legos. Go out with friends. Write a book. Start world building. It's easy. Yeah. With this Lilith card, like, if you're like a very intense person or like obsessive person, this is all going to be way easier said than done. But if you're also a stubborn person, think of it as like a competition between you and your thoughts. Who's like, are you just gonna let them win? Are you gonna give up? Or are you gonna beat the shit out of them and get like a million trophies and a bunch of things to reaffirm that you're the best? You know, that's up to you. Is there anything else? Yeah, like I think there's somebody new coming in for you. I do. I think there's gonna be new love in your life, new romance, like, wee, yay! But it's almost like you're distracting yourself with all of your anxiety and like stressing yourself out with all of this anxiety and like obsession and kind of narrow-mindedness, or maybe I should say like tunnel vision, I suppose, rather than narrow-mindedness. Yeah. Also, look and see if like all of this doubt is stemming from like a lack of self-worth or a lack, because it says my hidden worth in this card, and so I'm thinking like, is it coming from like insecurity? Most likely. Usually that's where it stems from. Like speaking from experience, you know, it usually stems from like insecurity or worry that like, you know, there's like someone better than you, or like what if you're not enough, or like what if you're not doing enough, or what if you're just like not their type, or you know, whatever. I think the more, you know what, fill yourself with more ego. It feels kind of contradictory to say like, I think what it is like, think about the situation less, think about this person less, and think about your place in their world less, and think more about their place in your world. Like, center things around you and around your experiences. And if, you know, like, do you like how they make you feel? Do you enjoy their presence in your life? How is their presence in your life impacting you? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do they make you feel good about yourself? You know, start like centering things around you. It's not being selfish. I think you just, I think you need to be more selfish. Which isn't a bad thing. It's just you, because I don't know how to explain that. It's fine. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of like baby pink and baby blue. I'm noticing. Like lots of pink and blue. My favorite colors. So, okay. I think that's all I have for the Oracle card portion, and then let's get into the tarot. So, let's do the fun part. Who's entering your life? Who's entering their life? Who's gonna be next in love for them? The Four of Wands! Cutie! The Four of Spells! We have the Page of Pentacles, aka Child of Boons. She's gotta be different, you know? 8 of challenges, 8 of swords. This is you for real, right now. Thinking too much. So who's coming into their life in a lovely romantic way? 8 of wands. 3 of wands. Queen of swords. The weaver of challenges. Okay. Oh, we got 2. And then we have temperance and the queen of pentacles. I'm gonna get one more. I like odd numbers. 6 of cups. Cutie. I gotta tell you, that does not look like a child. I know it's supposed to be. It doesn't look like one. And then we have the king of swords on the bottom. Oh, and then the star. It's starlight in this deck. Starlight, sunlight, and then moonlight, I think. Which I love. Okay. Cool. So, with the 6 of cups, I'm gonna be real. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somebody you already know, but hadn't necessarily thought of as like a romantic interest. Somebody that you looked at and you were like, and they're cool, and then moved on. I do think they are someone who can like match your freak, I suppose, with the queen and king of swords both being here. Like they're a couple. They're a couple. Make them kiss. You'll probably have like very intellectually like stimulating conversations with this person. I think they'll be really smart. I think they'll be very ambitious. I heard the song Bougie and whoa, I heard the word bougie and now I'm thinking of the song Bad and Bougie. Very like ambitious, very creative, I think, as well. I also think this is probably someone who has like a similar issue of like they probably overthink things to hell and back. Or maybe like, do they still? Yeah, they do still. Okay. I was like contemplating if maybe they had like grown out of that or like overcome that. They're working on it. They're working on it. Yeah. I do think this is somebody who is wanting like a formal, you know, like traditional type relationship. Traditional in the sense where like it's labeled as a relationship. It's not going to be like a confusing situationship kind of deal. It's like, what do they want? I think they're going to be very clear and open with what they want. Or it's their intention to be clear and open with what they want. You might have to ask them. I think they might be kind of like nervous around you because I do think they find you to be very attractive, and I think they've kind of always had like a little crush on you. You might be the one who's a little late to the game in reciprocating feelings for this person, just because I don't think you initially like categorized them as potential romantic interest, either like when you met them or in like getting to know them or something. I don't know if you know them like incredibly well. Like it's not like you're BFFs with this person or anything. You might know them through like a friend of a friend, or you hang out in a group sometimes, that kind of thing. I do think you make them nervous, but you also make them want to like take action and like do something. They know that they can't just like sit around and wait for something to happen because they don't know how you feel about them. They might even like doubt if you have feelings for them because you've, you know, probably never shown interest before. And so they're like, well, the only way to know is to find out. And so I think they probably will be the one who initiates things between the two of you. They're going to want things to be really chill between the two of you, because I do think they have a tendency to overthink and to like assume, and also like assume the worst. You guys are really similar in that way. So with like temperance here, it's called the Forge in this deck, it's making me think of like needing to take things slow to like hammer out all the like imperfections or like fine details, or like, because you know when you're like forging something, anything, it's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take sweat, maybe some blood, and maybe some tears, depending on the project. I know that because I've watched Forged in Fire a lot. So I know it's a dad show. I also like Ancient Aliens. She's so diverse. But they're going to want to like really make sure things are hammered out between the two of you, and that you both know what you're getting into before getting into it. Like, they aren't going to want to just jump into something with you. It's going to be like, hey, I'm interested in you. How do you feel? Hey, let's go on a couple dates, you know, like, let's get to know each other. Let's go on some more formal dates, you know, get more serious. And then we'll talk. And then we'll see how we want to go from there. They are, like, they're action-oriented. They're going to do things about how they feel about you. They are going to approach you kind of like in a casual manner, I think, with like the Page of Pentacles here. Just because like they don't want to scare you off by being too intense, especially because I think they've had feelings for you for a long time. And they don't want to ruin their shot. Oh no, we don't think of Hamilton. Oh. Lin-Manuel Miranda, what are you doing here? I was never, I was in theater the year Hamilton came out in high school. You have no idea what that was like unless you also experienced that, but I don't like Hamilton. Anyway, are you the... No, okay. I had to make sure of something. Don't worry about it. Is there anything else? I think eventually things are gonna feel really fun and easy and like free-flowing with them. And like it feels like, I don't know, it's interesting because it feels like there's not gonna have to be like a lot of effort that you're putting in, and I think things are going to flow rather seamlessly, and you're not gonna have to put a lot of thought really like into like when you're hanging out with them like one-on-one, things are gonna feel really easy, things are going to flow, things are going to be very smooth rolling, like smooth sailing, you know. I think the overthinking starts once you are like back home, you know, and like, or like on your own, like separated from each other, like doing whatever, and then that's when it starts up, because when you're with them, I think things feel really good. It's like it's not that it's not going to feel like a date. I want to say it's not going to feel, okay, I want to say it won't feel like a date in the sense where I don't think there's going to be a ton of like jitteriness or what the fuck do we talk about or anything like that. But I think it like where you're just hanging out with a friend and it's really chill and casual and like normal. But then of course like there's going to, that's in the context of a date. And so there might potentially be like a, we're gonna kiss, or, you know, like, do we hold hands, or that kind of stuff. But I don't think it's going to be like impossible to navigate. I think things are going to be really nice between the two of you. I think you both are very good at overthinking and like putting yourself in these mental traps. Which also probably might delay like progress of the relationship, just because you both are going to constantly be questioning your own moves and if what you're doing is right, which is just going to, you know, delay the moves that you do make, therefore delaying the relationship. It's just going to move slower. Cool. I do think it will turn out into like I do think it will turn into like a full out like relationship with this person, with the Four of Wands here, so that's nice, that's exciting. You might remind them maybe of like a maternal figure that they have in their life. in like the best possible way, in the least weird way, you know, where it's like maybe you just have similar qualities or similar interests or something like that. Yeah, okay. Is there anything else you want to tell pile 3 before we close it out? We have the World, 5 of Pentacles, and the Emperor. Ooh, with the Hanged Man. So here's the Hanged Man. Bro's caught up in some amber. Real. Never mind. We have, it's called the Forest Lord, the Emperor. And then here's the 5 of Boons. And then the Wide World. Okay. So I don't necessarily think there's any way you can mess this up. Unless you directly are like, I don't want this, and then it won't happen. I kind of think that this person, like, has their sights set on you. They have their eye on you, they've had their eye on you for like a long time, and they're going to ensure that like things work out between the two of you again, and like not in like a, if I can't have pile 3, nobody else can. It's more of like, I really want to be with pile 3 unless they don't want to be with me, in which then sucks to suck, I will suck it up, cry a little bit more in my loss, and then move on. Yeah, so don't be afraid to like really get out there, and don't be like, do what you need to do to close out the current chapter you're in your life. Like if there's someone you have feelings for and they're not reciprocating, or they're like, God forbid, using you or making you feel less than or anything like that, I don't think that's this person. I think this person is gonna hype you up and make you feel really good about yourself, make you feel really confident in yourself. They're also really similar to you, I think, in a lot of ways. Like similar ways of thinking, similar mindsets. You might even have like a really similar sense of humor. Yeah. So don't get too caught up in like the details of how things are gonna happen here. Just know that it will, and also you can kind of trust for this person to really like pull things together, you know? And you can kind of sit and chill. Oh, and then we have the Green Mother, which is the Empress. So we have Emperor and Empress. Gnarly. Okay, cool. So, pile 3, I think that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me for your reading. I really, really appreciate it. I hope this resonated and made sense for you. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this reading, or if you enjoy how I read, if you want to join the Woodland Club. I'd love to have you here. You can also check out my Patreon if you would like to. There's exclusive pick-a card readings there, tarot education content if you want to learn how to read tarot. There's extended readings from over on TikTok. I do readings on TikTok, and then I post extended for those ones. There's also voting power, so if you want to vote for or like give ideas for reading topics for YouTube readings or the exclusive Patreon readings, that's offered there. I also create tarot spreads and put them up on the Patreon. And if you get the highest tier, then you get a included personal reading with every month. You can also check out my Tarot and Oracle deck if you would like. I made the Woodland Tarot deck and the Childlike Wonders Oracle. You can check those out. Those will be linked down below. You can book a personal reading if you'd like to book that. Those will also be linked down below. And you can also check out my Instagram and TikTok at Woodland Tarot. I post silly, funny, fun things there, and readings as well. So, what a spiel. Thanks for joining me for your reading. I really, really appreciate it. I hope this resonated and made sense for you, and I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you're watching. Bye.